Welcome to the History of North America. I'm Mark Vinette. Let's start this episode by addressing a wonderful comment from one of my faithful listeners. Dear Mark, the first time I heard you sharing your love of North American history was on a Caribbean cruise years ago. You were the guest History at Sea lecturer. I enjoyed your presentations and, since then, read your many books, listened to your podcasts, and enjoyed your online videos. I'm a fan of your common-sense traditional approach to interpreting and analyzing the past. Thanks for bringing many hours of joyful learning to my wife Lily and I. Best regards, Jerry. Thank you so much for the kind words and reminder of the many years I spent sailing around the world as a history lecturer with a variety of cruise lines. That enriching experience led to my present method of sharing history in both audio and video formats. Those ocean talks also inspired several of my Timeline channel videos. Here's the audio from a few of these eclectic video presentations. This edition of Titans of History presents Wilbur Scoville. Born in Bridgeport, Connecticut on January 22, 1865, Wilbur Scoville was an American pharmacist, chemist, award-winning researcher, professor of pharmacology, and the second vice chairman of the American Pharmaceutical Association. He is best known for his creation of the Scoville scale. Using human testers, he devised the scale in 1912 while working at the Parke-Davis Pharmaceutical Company to measure the hotness or heat of various chili peppers. Before Scoville, no one knew how to measure a pepper's tongue-burning, tear-inducing qualities. Scoville wrote The Art of Compounding, which was used as a pharmacological reference for many decades thereafter. His textbook made one of the earliest mentions of milk as an antidote for pepper heat. He also wrote Extract and Perfumes, which contained hundreds of formulations. For a time, he was a professor at the Massachusetts College of Pharmacy and Health Sciences. During the 1920s, Wilbur Scoville won the Ebert Prize from the American Pharmaceutical Association and the Remington Honor Medal. He also received an honorary Doctor of Science from Columbia University in 1929. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation and look forward to sharing history with you again soon. This edition of Titans of History presents the Olympics. The Olympic Games are the foremost international sporting event featuring summer and winter competitions in which thousands of athletes from around the world participate. The Games are held every 2 years, with the Summer and Winter Games alternating. Their creation was inspired by the ancient Olympic Games, which were held in Olympia, Greece, from the 8th century BC to the 4th century AD. French Baron Pierre de Coubertin founded the International Olympic Committee in 1894. The IOC is the governing body of the Olympic movement, with the Olympic Charter defining its structure and authority. The evolution of the Olympic movement has resulted in several changes and adjustments. The IOC has had to adapt to a variety of societal, economic, political, and technological advancements. As a result, the Olympics has shifted away from pure amateurism to allowing participation of professional athletes. As the decision-making body, the IOC is responsible for choosing the host city for each Games and organizes and funds the Games according to the Olympic Charter. The IOC also determines the Olympic program, consisting of the sports to be contested at the Games. There are several Olympic rituals and symbols, such as the Olympic flag, anthem, and torch, as well as the opening and closing ceremonies. The third, second, and first place finishers in each event receive Olympic medals, bronze, silver, and gold. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation and look forward to sharing history with you again soon. This edition of Titans of History presents the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is the annual championship game of the National Football League, the highest level of professional football in the United States, culminating a season that begins in the late summer of the previous calendar year. The game was created as part of a merger agreement between the NFL and its then rival, the American Football League. It was agreed that the two leagues' champion teams would play in the AFL-NFL World Championship game until the merger was to officially begin in 1970. After the merger, each league was redesignated as a conference, and the game has since been played between the conference champions to determine the NFL's league champion. Super Bowl Sunday is among the most watched sporting events in the world. Because of the high viewership, commercial airtime during the Super Bowl broadcast is the most expensive of the year, leading to companies regularly developing their most costly advertisements for this broadcast. As a result, watching and discussing commercials has become a significant aspect of the event. In addition, popular singers and musicians have performed during the event's pre-game and halftime ceremonies. The first AFL-NFL World Championship game, later called Super Bowl I, was played on January 15, 1967 at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in California. The NFL champion Green Bay Packers defeated the AFL champion Kansas City Chiefs by the score of 35-10. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation and look forward to sharing history with you again soon. This edition of Titans of History presents Star Trek, the original series. Star Trek is an American science fiction television series created by Gene Roddenberry that follows the adventures of the starship USS Enterprise and its crew. It later acquired the retronym of Star Trek, the original series, to distinguish the show within the media franchise that it began. The series was produced by Desilu Productions and Paramount Television. Star Trek aired on NBC from 1966 to 1969 for 79 episodes. Several years later, the series became a bona fide hit in broadcast syndication, remaining so throughout the 1970s, achieving cult classic status and a developing influence on popular culture. Star Trek eventually spawned a franchise consisting of several television series and feature films, numerous books, and vast merchandising, and is now widely considered one of the most popular and influential television series of all time. The show was set in the Milky Way galaxy during the 23rd century. The ship and crew are led by Captain James T. Kirk, First Officer and Science Officer Spock, and Chief Medical Officer Leonard McCoy, as well as many other supporting crew members. Captain Kirk's voiceover introduction during each episode's opening credits stated the starship's purpose: space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission? To explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation and look forward to sharing history with you again soon. By joining our community at patreon.com/markvinet, you can savor early access to ad-free episodes of this program. So, if you want early access to commercial-free new episodes of this podcast, go to patreon.com/markvinet.